Good morning children, I am Poonam Bagga and we are going to start a new chapter today, chapter 3, Understanding Quadrilaterals. We start with some of the basic terms and definitions related to this chapter. We have a plane curve. Now what is a plane? This surface, this board on which I am writing is a plane. Also the paper on which you write is a plane. It has no ups and downs on it. It is a plane surface. The tabletop on which we keep our belongings is again a plane. And when we take a few points on a plane and join them without lifting our pen or pencil and also without retracing it, then the drawing that we get is called a plane curve. We are having some points with us. Let us join them and see what we get. Yes, this is one drawing and it is a plane curve. We are joining it without lifting our pen or pencil. Again, let us join these points. This is also a plane curve. Similarly, we can draw many plane curves. This is a plane curve. This is a plane curve. Similarly, many curves can be drawn. Now we take types of curve and the first one is an open curve. A curve which has two endpoints and which does not enclose any area within itself. Here are two figures showing an open curve. These are the two endpoints, first and second. We can assume one to be the starting point and the other one to be the end point. It is open because you can see here it is having an open mouth and it is not enclosing any area within itself. Again, this figure is also open from this side. So, these are open curves. Next, we have a closed curve. A curve which starts and ends at the same point and it encloses an area within itself. These are some of the closed curves. You can see they are all closed. There is no open mouth in them and we cannot identify the starting and the end point also in these figures. And we can also see that this area is being enclosed inside them. Here also this is the area being enclosed by this figure or this closed curve. It is packed, closed. Clear to you? Next we have a simple curve. A simple curve is a curve that does not cross itself. Here we are having some simple curves. These are two. You can draw many more of your own. They are not crossing anywhere. They are not crossing itself. Themselves they are not crossing. And here you can see this figure. This curve is crossing itself at this point. Again this drawing or figure is crossing itself at this point. So, these are not simple. And you can draw many curves that are not simple. Then we have simple closed curve, a curve which is simple as well as closed. For being closed, it will have the same starting point and the same ending point enclosing an area within itself, and for being simple, it will not be crossing itself anywhere. So, these are some of the figures which are simple as well as closed. You can see there is no crossing in them and also there is no open mouth in them. Then we have polygons. A simple closed curve made up of only line segments is called a polygon. There should be only line segments. In case I draw it like this, then is this a polygon? No, because it is not being made with the help of line segments. There are no line segments in this figure. So, this is not a polygon. Again, curves that are polygons, you can see it should be closed, these are closed, and this should be simple, not crossing itself anywhere. You can see these are closed as well as simple curves made up of only line segments. Here there are 4 line segments, 1, 2, this one 3, this one 4. Again it is having 4 and 4 line segments. all the figures are made up of line segments. This is the major characteristic of a polygon. Remember this. Again, here are also some line segments, but are they polygons? No. Why? Here you can see this is crossing itself. So, it is not a simple curve. Here again it is crossing itself at 2 points. It is also not a simple curve. Here it is not a closed curve because it is opened from this side. So, these figures are not polygons and these figures are polygons. I hope this is very much clear to you. Next we take classification of polygons on the basis of number of sides or vertices. The sides means the number of line segments that there will be in a figure, and the vertices, the corners of those joinings of line segments. These are called vertices. First we will be taking sides 3, a figure with 3 sides, closed and simple, only then it will be a polygon. A figure with 3 sides is called a triangle. You can see this is the sample figure. These are 3 sides, 1, 2 and 3, and the vertices, 3 vertices are the first one, the second one and the third one. It is called a triangle. Is there any polygon possible with 2 sides or 2 line segments? Let us try 1 and 2. Now, in any case, whenever we will draw 2 line segments, then it will not be a closed figure, and because it will not be a closed figure, we cannot say it to be a polygon. So, the minimum number of sides for a figure to be a polygon is 3, for it being closed as well as simple. Then we have number of sides 4, then that shape is called a quadrilateral, which we will be taking up in this chapter, and it has 4 sides, 1, 2, 3 and 4 sides, and similarly 4 vertices. Then a figure with 5 sides is called a pentagon. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 sides. It has a special name called pentagon. Also, we have a figure with 6 sides or 6 vertices. It is called a hexagon. Here you can see it is having 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. A figure with 7 sides, this one, and it is called a heptagon. These are the special names that should be very much known to you. Again it is having 7 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. A figure with 8 sides is called an octagon. Again you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 sides are there. Also a figure with 9 sides is called a nonagon, and a figure with 10 sides is called a decagon. Next we will be taking diagonals. A diagonal is a line segment joining or connecting two non-consecutive vertices of a polygon. Non-consecutive means the opposite vertices, not the next one. Let us take this figure. Let us give it a name A, B, C, D and E. Then B and E are, let us take this vertex A, and we will see that this B and E, they are consecutive vertices or adjacent vertices. They are next to A, just close to A. So, we will not be joining them because joining them will give us the side of the polygon. Then non-consecutive vertices means the opposite ones. The opposite vertices to A are this D and this C. So, let us join them, this one and this one. These are the two diagonals. Also we can join C and E. This is another diagonal. Join E and B. They are also opposite vertices. Also we can draw one more diagonal which will be D and B. Join it. So, these are the diagonals of this pentagon. You can see there are 5 sides, it is a pentagon. Also again it is a quadrilateral. We can have join the opposite vertices and then the line segment that we get is called a diagonal. Also let us join these two opposite vertices. These are the line segments which are called diagonals. Here also let us take these to be A, B, C and D. Then A and C are the opposite vertices, join them. This is the first diagonal. Also B and D are the opposite vertices, join them. This is the second diagonal of this figure. So, a diagonal is a line segment joining two opposite vertices of a polygon. Next we will be taking convex and concave polygons. Yes, there are two types of polygons, one is the convex and the other one is the concave. What is the difference between the two? A convex polygon has no interior angle greater than 180 degree. Here we are having a convex polygon. You can see there are 4 interior angles in this figure. First one, second one, third and fourth. No angle is greater than 180 degree. What is an angle of 180 degree measurement? When we draw a straight line and take a point on it, then this complete angle is called a straight angle and its measure is 180 degree. A straight line represents an angle of 180 degree, and when we bend this line in this way, then this angle becomes greater than 180 degree. Clearly 180 degree would have been if we take in this way. This one was the 180 degree and now it has been increased on both sides. So, this particular angle is greater than 180 degree. In case of convex polygon, no angle is greater than 180 degree. All the angles are less than 180 degree as it is visible in this figure. Here also all the angles are smaller than 180 degree. The first difference is that no interior angle is greater than 180 degree in a convex polygon. Also its diagonals lie inside the polygon. No portion of its diagonals lies outside the polygon. All the diagonals lie inside the polygon. Let us draw the diagonals. In this case, first we erase these angles and then we will draw the diagonals. Let us erase these angles first and now we will draw the diagonals. Let us join the opposite vertices 1 and 2. So, these are the two diagonals, both of them are lying inside the polygon. Also let us join here the opposite vertices and get the diagonals. You can see they are also inside the polygon 1, 2 and similarly you can join this one, then this one. We will be having many diagonals. So, there are in fact many diagonals in an octagon. Again this one is left. So, you can see all the diagonals lie inside the polygon. There is no portion of diagonals which lies outside the polygon. Now, let us come to concave polygon. How is it different from a convex polygon? A concave polygon has one interior angle greater than 180 degree. Here we are having two figures showing a concave polygon. You can see that this interior angle is greater than 180 degree. This one angle in this figure is greater than 180 degree. That is why it is called a concave polygon. Here also this interior angle is greater than 180 degree. So, it is a concave polygon. Also, some diagonals lie outside the polygon. Let me change the color of the pen and then I will draw the diagonals in this case. Here these two are the vertices. This one is A and let it be AB, this one be C. Now these are the two vertices of this polygon. If I now join them, this is the diagonal of this polygon and it is lying outside this polygon. You can see it is lying outside the polygon. Let us join here also these two vertices. Let it be A, B, C and this one in the middle be D. If we join A and C, you can see A and C are opposite vertices. If we now join A and C, this is a diagonal of this figure and it is lying outside the polygon. So, some diagonals lie outside the polygon. Let us change the color once again and get back to the same one. So, these are the basic differences between a convex and a concave polygon, and many a times I get confused to remember which one is a convex and which one is a concave polygon. So, what I take a clue is that this figure is having a cave inside. Cave means a gap inside, and that is why it is a concave polygon. I remember by using this trick. Here this is again a polygon concave. So, there is one gap in this side here in the middle. So, that is why I take it to be a cave. Cave means एक गुफा, तो इसमें भी एक गुफा बनी हुई है. तो इस तरह से मैं इसको याद करती हूँ और इस तरह से आप भी याद रख सकते हैं कि how a concave polygon will look like and how a convex polygon looks like. So, this is the difference between the two. Next we take a regular and an irregular polygon. What is a regular polygon? A polygon with equal sides and equal angles. All the sides will be equal and all the angles will also be equal. You can see these are the figures, they are equal in measurement from all sides, and we mark an equal side, two equal sides by a small cut in between. This small cut represents that the three sides are equal, and also you can see the angles are equal. All the three angles will be equal, all the three sides are equal. Such a figure with equal sides and angles is called a regular polygon. In fact, it is an equilateral triangle. Then we take this case also. Here also all the four sides are equal. We represent equal sides by a small cut in between them, and also these four angles are equal. All of them are of 90 degree. So, it is a regular polygon. Then we have this pentagon. It's also all sides are equal. We can mark a single cut, or even we can mark two cuts, or we can mark even three cuts. So, these cuts represent that the sides are equal. Also the angles will be equal. All the five angles in this case, they are equal. So, such polygons are called regular polygons. Then comes irregular polygon, a polygon that does not have all sides equal and all angles equal. You can see this side is greater than these two sides. Here also you can see this length is greater than this breadth. So, these two sides are not equal. Here also this one side is not equal to these two remaining sides. Here also these two sides are longer than the other four or three sides. So, we can say that these polygons are irregular polygons because their sides and similarly their angles will also be not equal in this case. You can say, see this is a smaller angle and this one is bigger in measurement. So, the angles are also not equal, however here they are. So, the angles may be equal, may not be equal, that is another case, but there will be some inequality either in sides or in angles. Clear to you? Next we have angle sum property of a quadrilateral. You are already familiar that the sum of all the angles of a triangle is, yes, 180 degree. Now we will be moving towards a quadrilateral. and the sum of all the angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. We are having one quadrilateral here and we will be proving that the sum of all its interior angles is 180 degree. For this, let us draw one of its diagonals. This is its diagonal and let us name it A, B, C and D. Now, two triangles are being formed in this figure. One is the triangle ACD and the other one is triangle ABC. Let us name the angles also in this figure. Let it be angle 1, then it be angle 2, it be angle 3, this one angle 4, this one angle 5 and this one angle 6. First we will take the triangle ABC. In triangle ABC, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. Why? Because sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. We all know this. That is why the sum of angles 1, 2 and 3 will be 180 degree. Let us give it an equation number 1. Also in triangle ACD, we are now taking this triangle ACD, this upper one, this triangle. The sum of angles 4, 5 and 6, it will again be equal to 180 degree because it is again a triangle and the sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So, its sum will be 180 degree. We give it equation number 2. Now, let us join or add both the equations. On adding equations 1 and 2, we get, what we get is, add up all the angles, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, this we get on the LHS side from equation 1, and from equation 2 we will get angle 4 plus angle 5 plus angle 6 equal to 180 degree plus 180 degree. How we have added? We have added the LHS part of both the equations and we have added the RHS part of both the equations, this one. Now, you can see angle 1 and 6 are coming up together. So, we also take them together, angle 1 plus angle 6, we will take them together, then plus angle 2, then plus angle 3 and 4, again they are also coming up together. So, we will take them together, 3 plus 4, let us take them together, then we have angle 5. Angle 6 we have already taken up with angle 1, this is equal to 180 plus 180 is 360 degree. Now, what is angle 1 plus angle 6? You can see this angle 1 plus angle 6 is together making angle A. So, we can write here angle A plus this angle 2 is nothing but angle B. So, angle B plus 3 plus 4, this 3 plus 4 is clearly angle C. So, we write angle C plus this angle 5 is angle D. This is equal to 360 degree. So, what we are getting is that the sum of all the interior angles, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. You have to remember this. So, that is all in today's class, children. I hope it is clear to you. Draw your own curves, try to form your own polygons and try to form your own quadrilaterals. In our next class, we will be taking up exercise 3.1. Till then, thank you.